Welcome. In this module, we're going to talk about software security fundamentals, and we're going to take a look at an excellent model and framework which has been developed by OWASP, Open Web Application Security Project, which is a free of cost nonprofit organization. And you can go to the OWASP website if you have not already looked at it. A tremendous amount of resources are available there. So while we talk about software security hardening, it's very important to lay the fundamental principles and the fundamental groundwork so that we can lay the hardening of the software on top of that in a much more effective manner. So the Software Assurance Maturity Model, or in short, it's called SAM, SAMM, has been developed by OWASP. It's a tremendous document, but it's about 100 pages of PDF, and it gives a complete framework in 4 different areas, and it has various practices in order to develop an highly effective software security program in the organization. And it's basically a guide to building security into the software development or the software development lifecycle. Now, one more thing I would like to mention is that this framework has 4 practices at the high level, which we'll see in the next slide. We're going to talk about 2 of them now in this module and the next module. And then in a subsequent chapter later on in the course, we'll talk about 2 of the other modules which are related to testing and validation. So if you look at the OWASP SAM, the overview diagram which has been given in the document, it contains 4 business functions, and then there are security practices, 3 security practices for each business function. And this covers the entire software development lifecycle. And we're going to talk about governance and construction first, and then later on, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about verification and deployment. So for governance and construction, we have a total of 3 security practices each. If we look at them individually, as you can see on the slide, a much more clearer view here. Governance has strategy and metrics, education and guidance, and then policy and compliance. And then the next business function has these security practices, which are security requirements, threat assessment, and secure architecture. Now, the OWASP Software Assurance Maturity Model, or SAM, governance phase lays the important fundamentals, and it has 3 security practices: strategy and metrics, education and guidance, and policy and compliance. And our effort will be obviously that while we build our software security model, we want to align the software security hardening according to the principles which are mentioned in these security practices. Now, for strategy and metrics, this is focused on establishing the framework within an organization for a software security assurance program. And this is the most fundamental step, the most fundamental and important step in defining security goals in a way that's both measurable and aligned with the organization's real business risk. And the idea and the objective here is to make it very, very practical. Now, if you look at the strategy and metrics layout, for each practice, we have an objective and 2 activities. So the first strategy and metrics practice is establish unified strategic roadmap for software security within the organization. And this really, we have 2 activities: estimate the overall business risk profile, and we must sift through our different applications, and we must look at the risk profile of each application, and then build and maintain an assurance program roadmap accordingly. The second practice is measure relative value of data and software assets and choose risk tolerance. So we really have to decide where are we going to go ahead and take efforts to secure the software, and then classify data and applications based on business risk, which is very important because usually an organization has so many assets and so much software. Establish and measure pre-classification security goals, per classification security goals. And then this third practice is align security expenditure with relevant business indicators and asset value. And this is creating a rationalization, how much risk is associated with which software and how much are we really willing to spend according to the management go-ahead. And then we conduct a periodic industry-wide cost comparison and collect metrics for historic security spend. Now we go to the next business function, which is education and guidance. And here we're focused on arming personnel involved in the software lifecycle with knowledge and resources to design, develop, and deploy the secure software. And we find that there's usually a huge gap in organizations and with regards to software security and what the fundamental practices are and what the framework is and how they're going to develop this into a complete roadmap and a program in the organization. So with improved access to information, project teams will be better able to proactively identify and mitigate the specific security risks that apply to their organization. And because there's a huge gap in the knowledge, so what we want to do is make sure that the teams are aligned with the appropriate amount of education and guidance. The objective, the first one, offer development staff access to resources around the topics of secure programming and deployment, depending on are they programming in C or ASP.NET or any other platform. And then conduct technical security awareness training, build and maintain technical guidelines, and develop those into SOPs and processes. And then we have the next business function, educate all personnel in the software lifecycle with role-specific guidance on secure development. What are they actually doing? Conduct role-specific application security training, utilize security coaches to enhance project teams, and you can also utilize external consultants and external training. And then we have another practice, mandate comprehensive security training and certify personnel for baseline knowledge and actually test them and certify them, and create formal application security support portal, and you place all your information and your training and your documents over there on the portal so that you have access to provided to everyone, and establish role-based examination and certification track. So then we have policy and compliance. Here we are focused on understanding and meeting external, legal and regulatory requirements while also driving internal security standards to ensure compliance in a way that's aligned with the business purpose of the organization. And a driving theme for improvement within this practice is focus on project-level audits that gather information about the organization's behavior in order to check that expectations are being met. So if you look at policy and compliance, here the objective is to understand relevant governance and compliance drivers, and then identify and monitor external compliance drivers, build and maintain compliance guidelines. And the second security practice is establish security and compliance baseline and understand per project specific risks. And then the activities are build policies and standards for security compliance and establish project audit practice. So we must have a mechanism to actually audit as well. And then the third practice is require compliance and measure projects against organization-wide policies and standards. The activities are create compliance gates so that you can actually control the flow and then adopt solution for audit data collection. So as you could see that these three practices that we talked about in this module, they establish a very strong fundamental baseline and the foundation with which we can further go ahead and make sure that the controls that we're applying and the measures that we're taking are aligned with the risk and the spend, and the teams are educated, and there's a policy and compliance mechanism, and all of that really forms the essential foundation without which the security controls or the security hardening or the security practices become irrelevant. So that's very, very important, and that's why we talked about this very important subject in this module. Thank you.